Okay, we're up here at Ben Delatour Scout Ranch, just outside Red Feather Lakes, Colorado, and today we are installing a Wilson 70 dB cellular amplifier. It's in the box here. There's a troop camping up here from Alt. I just spent the last hour taking all the slack off the rope that supports the tower, and that was a simple mechanical advantage setup. You can see it over here probably better. So created just like a trucker's knot, and put some serious torque on the tower with those ropes, and now it wiggles like a tower would wiggle without wire. But it doesn't flop around. I climbed this before and it flopped around really bad. So brought up some stuff for grounding. That's coax clamps. Here is our wideband directional antenna. This goes on the tower. Clamp kit out of there. So this goes on the tower, and we're actually going to point it 10.5 dB gain. It's going to be pointing, I don't know if you can see that, straight through the gap in the trees. This tree right here is in the way, but I'm still going to attempt to make this work. Last time I was on this tower, I put an antenna on that was designed for my signal meter, and it detected signals. So I'm going to get the coax unraveled. We've got, I believe, a 60 and a 50, 60 and a 75. Okay, so we got a 60 and a 75. The 60 footer should be more than plenty to come down the tower and into the building, and then the 75 is going to go around the corner and straight down to the other end of the building where the picnic tables are. So I'm going to turn the camera off and get this cable relaxing since it's been wound up for so long. So this is Wilson's equivalent of LMR 400. LMR 400 is a very low loss coax. At 100 feet it only loses approximately 3 dB of signal. It's either 3 or 6, but I'm pretty sure it's 3. So we have Wilson 400. The part number is WIL 400. Ultra low loss cable. So yeah, we definitely have a 60 and a 75. So I brought up connectors because more than likely I'm going to cut this and custom length it coming into the radio room inside here. So I think we're about ready to get some equipment on the tower. Higher is better. I got to think about exactly where I want to put that. I don't want to be too close to that beam, but I think we'll be okay. So one thing some guys will do is they wrap the coax coming down the tower in electrical tape, which is eventually going to fail. So it's a little spendy to wrap it in proper wire, but we're going to dress up this tower on our way down. We're going to use green ground wire because it's just wrapped with electrical tape, which is really not a good idea. That's eventually going to fail. Somebody's going to have to come back up here. It's going to be a big pain. So we're going to do it right the first time. And the bundle of coax that's running up the inside edge of the tower, there's 2 of them. That's going to be the group of coax that gets wrapped with these green ground wires on my way back down the tower, just to do them a little bit of a favor. Less tower maintenance in the future. So we have the signal strength meter so I can get the antenna pointed correctly. I had a crescent, oh there it is, crescent wrench, and we'll take the dikes up there so we can trim up this copper wire on the way down. We've got our electrical tape and our butyl tape to waterproof the connection. The end connectors are waterproof already, but it's always a good idea to wrap them. So I think we are ready to begin climbing. And I'm just gonna drag this up as we go and try and take the same route that they've already taken. Make sure I've got everything. I don't want to come up here more than I have to. Okay. Since I'm right-handed, there's another email. So our cell booster is definitely going to work. Like I said, I like to be 100% tie off, but don't have that luxury with this particular belt. Beautiful day up here, 45 degrees. Absolutely wonderful weather to be doing this today. Okay. Now, I'm trying to decide how far up I should really go, because right here is actually pretty adequate. I think we'll clamp that antenna right here. It shouldn't get into this. They run on totally different frequencies. So let's see here. Oh, you son of a... There we go. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Hard part's done. The first clamp is on. Okay. Now we'll get the rest of the clamp on there. I'm struggling just a little bit because I don't, I'm not familiar with this harness, and I don't know how old this rope is, because it belongs to the camp. So I'm being just a little extra cautious. I'm not fully leaning into it like I normally would, just out of safety's sake. I'm thinking if I bring it down, it's gonna suck because I'm gonna have to do this over again. I'm a little close to this antenna. It's a, what is this, a 2 meter? It should be okay, but it's pointed back towards town. Let's swing this around. Minus 89. Minus 90. So we're getting some bounce off the mountains. Minus 88. 89. 87. Getting better. 86. Whoops, I touched it. Alright, I'm going to shut this off for a little bit so I can get this antenna dialed in. Okay, just finished cranking down the antenna. The signal is fluctuating, which I expected actually from how long of a jump this is. But as we cycle through the bands, cellular at minus 102. PCS at 102. That's a version of LTE for some carriers. That's pretty weak. And then band 13 LTE is booming in there. We will go to, I believe it is channel power. Nope, that's the one I was on. Maybe it's spectrum power. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know if this meter can see this, or this GoPro can see this, but it'll show you where the different carriers are in the band. So there's 2 different carriers LTE coming in here. I think this is some T-Mobile and maybe some Sprint. And I know for a fact that's Verizon. Verizon's up in the 750s. But my phone is on T-Mobile and Sprint, and it has 0 bar LTE right now, but I am actually getting data on my cell phone in my pocket, which has absolutely 0 power. And as I turn around and look, straight through the tree there, which this tree might come down. We haven't decided if we're going to cut this tree down. We're going to try this first. But we're pointed right through the crack in the mountain there. And the cell site is 19 miles away. So I'm going to turn the, actually, I'll leave this roll while we do this. Let's power this baby down and unhook the meter. And now for the butyl tape. And this stuff sucks. That should be all we need. And I didn't bring my scissors up, did I? So the important stuff with the butyl tape is to wrap it up. That way in case water gets in there, it's overlapped, so it can't run down inside the coupler. And we'll do the exact same thing with our electrical tape. Okay. So as rain beats on this, the water runs down and it's overlapped the whole way. The only potential problem is the top. Even on electrical tape, it's potentially a problem. So I like to start from the top, go down, and then turn around and come back up. because it never lays down right the first path down the coax. Okay. Now coming up, we have that same overlap. My feet are about done with this tower. And I have on some pretty thick boots today too. I'm starting to just wind it a little closer. In an attempt to have some good overlap there. Okay. So same thing, wrapped it up for the last run. And that should give us some pretty good triple protection on the waterproofing. Alrighty. Oh, come on. Dang it. Okay. Since I got cable tie in there, I figured I'd just electrical tape this section. Alright, I'm going to kill the camera. I'm going to go down the tower and put the green ties on the whole way down. Okay, coming through here. Some of these were kind of loose. And this electrical tape's it's failing, so figured we'd zip tie all these together. Try to make it a little more professional looking, I guess. All right, we're getting inside the radio room here. Getting to the point where we're going to do some inside work. Start checking some things through the coax too and see how much loss there is through 60 feet of coax. There shouldn't be much. And that's a 70 dB gain amplifier on the wall, so anything we lose in the coax will be boosted 70 dB. And what do we have? Let's go, whoops, let's go back to channel power. Minus 89. So the signal was bobbing between minus 89 and minus 85 on the tower. And it looks like we're bobbing around. I just got another email. FedEx. So there's wandering signal. So we got minus 88 through the amp, or through the coax, bobbing around, which I do expect. And we're going to add a plus 70 dB to that. So let's power this back off, I guess. And get our lightning hooked up. Alright, the GoPro died on me while I was on the tower, and I expected it to, or while I was down here, I mean. So, cellular amplifier is alive, and I have been running some tests outside, but we've got our two coax labeled, the tower antenna and the panel antenna. They're both outside. My phone is dinging in my pocket because it's picking up my Wi-Fi signal. We've got good signal, no warnings. We'll go outside and check it out. Alright, so coming out of the box, we've got our tower antenna and our panel antenna. I didn't have the appropriate coupler for this, so for now I just shoved a rag in there to keep any rodents out. And runs along the building, turns, and I've got a little bit of a butyl tape buffer there to allow me to put some tension on this so it didn't droop. And got another one right there, right here, and then there's two right down here just to take any tension off. I decided to not butyl tape this because it's facing downward, and it's already a waterproof coupler, and it's protected under the eave. If the rain was just driving at it really hard, it doesn't matter. That coupler's pointed down. So coming out of, actually, we'll walk back over here. Coming right out of the antenna is a very hot signal. Let me get into menu mode here. Channel power. So right out of the antenna, we've got a pretty hot LTE signal, obviously right out of the antenna. And then as we get further away, let me close Outlook. Just sitting here on the table, a -70, which is a very usable signal, and the air card is picking up between 1 and 2 bars. And even with it 1 and 2 bars, that's still good enough on LTE. Wrong website. That's still good enough on LTE to pull a pretty dang good speed test. I'm going to try and show you that. There it goes. So the cell site is 19 miles away as the crow flies. And I've been pulling between 3, 4, 5, 6 megabit when I've been running repeated speed tests. It's a little lossy on the upload. This jetpack, it does not appropriately relay the true upload speed. It actually has a problem. I've overdriven this with a direct connect cellular amp, and I've damaged that device, but it will still transmit. We would be running about 3 to 3.5 asynchronously per se, but 0.11 is not accurate at all. The cell phone is Google Project Fi. I can force it around onto different carriers. We'll dump it back. Oh, it's still on Sprint. Okay. We'll dump it over to T-Mobile and see if we can get it to connect to anything. So we've got cellular talk band around -80. PCS band around -90. That's pretty down there. This is a very long push for a cellular amplifier. AWS is a version of LTE, or a version of 4G, excuse me, and then we've got true LTE at a -69. This is primarily Verizon Wireless. The other carriers in my phone, it's not jumping onto LTE. There's a T-Mobile tower in Red Feather Lakes, but we're 1,000 vertical feet lower than that, which is why it's not working. So this is doing exactly what we want. Just taking a little bit of the strain off of the camp's T1 during summer camp. So there we go. Installed by Network Troubleshooting and Installation, certified Wilson Cellular Products installer.